Before I booked my trip to Italy, I did something most travelers skip, and I asked AI to tell me where not to go. So, not the general stuff you find in a travel blog, everything is perfect and lovely. It's really more the specific items. So, the neighborhoods that I was going to be staying in, potentially the scams, the situations of a solo woman actually needs to think about before they go on their solo trips. So today I'm going to give you the exact 5 prompts I used to be able to do a little bit of research. And one of those answers surprised me enough to change part of my plan. So you can run every one of these for any city in the world. Remember, if you follow my channel, I'm doing it for the Amalfi Coast, but trust me, you can use them for any city that you like and repeatable. If we haven't met, I'm Joanne, and this channel is where women over 50 learn how to use AI for everyday life. And today, real life is travel safety. Prompt number 1, the honest safety briefing. So here's what I love about this first prompt. It doesn't hand you fear, it hands you a ranking. And I ran it for the Amalfi Coast, and one line stopped me cold. This is not a crime destination. The number one risk isn't crime against women, which is really good to hear. It's the road. A famously dangerous coastal highway, heat exhaustion, tourist pricing everywhere, and way down is petty theft, which is actually good to hear because that's pretty rampant these days. One tour operator tracked 6,800 clients over more than a decade, and with only 4 pickpocketing incidents total. And that one ranking changed where I put my effort. And that's the whole point. You prepare for the real risks, not the imagined ones. And you hear a lot of noise. All 5 prompts are free in the Smart Travel Guide in the description below. And if you want the full checklist I built for every imaginable answer that you have, those are in Travel Smart, Travel Safe, and Travel Well. It's a guide, has about 19 pages, I believe, in it, and it's $27. And you can get a lot of information, a lot of checklists on what to do if you're traveling solo in a small group or traveling anywhere in the world. Prompt number 2, transportation and the taxi test. So this is where a lot of travelers get caught off guard. And admittingly, that included me in Paris. Paris taught me the lesson the hard way. Uber doesn't operate on the Amalfi Coast. So I'm going to have to really start thinking about that, right? I'm going to have to figure out some other transportation. And some of the real options there in particular are bus, the ferry, and a pre-booked private transfer. I realize that it might be a little bit more expensive, but it might be just the answer for you. Also, it told me that the official taxis are white with a taxi sign on the roof, a municipality plate on the door, and a meter. If those aren't all present, walk away. And really, 2 red flags cover almost everything, really anywhere in the world. If someone approaches you instead of you approaching them, walk away. And any service that you can't get a receipt. And one of my really favorite habit here, and from all of this in transportation, is before every ride, before you get into the taxi, before you get into whatever it might be, photograph the license plate and text it to someone at home or someone that might be with you at the hotel, etc. It's only 15 seconds. That's the entire cost of that habit, and it's a good one to have. Don't be embarrassed. Just do it. Prompt number 3. Now, this one is for before you actually book the hotel, if possible. So I don't know where I'm staying yet. So I just tested it on Ravello. And Ravello is a small hill village, about residents sitting above the coastline. And it does draw an older, quieter crowd, which works in your favor as a solo woman potentially. But at night, and after all the day trippers are gone, then it does become very quiet, which is always nice for sure. And it appears safe. But remember this, that because it's quiet, less people, you might be having dinner late. After 9 p.m., there's less people. And you really have to think about that. So always get your hotel phone number, because remember, they're different codes than we have. Have that down in your phone somewhere. And if you want, always just kind of grab the police numbers as well. It's not going to hurt. They don't normally have a 911 as we do, and that might be something that you would dial immediately and it not work. So be sure that you have that information as well. Prompt number 4, the safety packing list. Now, before you see this list, hear me on one thing. You do not need to buy everything on it, and nor did I. But a few things that came out of my purchases was a personal alarm, and it looks like a little pin, and you take the pin out at the bottom, and it alarms up, and it's got the lights flashing. You can put the lights in front of somebody's eyes if you need to. And honestly, I had used it on our Paris trip a couple of years ago, and then I have used it ever since. I carry it with me now. Number 2 is a doorstop alarm. I've heard of these before. It slides into your hotel room, screams if the door opens, and then the incredible AirTags by Apple. And I love these, and I actually have them in several different areas. But I will say that I put them in all the luggage. I put them in my passport. I put them in just my purse. And potentially you could put them in things that you've purchased as well that you want to keep and that you need to keep track of. One of the other things is which doesn't cost anything actually, is downloading maps. So you have to realize that there's not always going to be internet in some of these countries or even in small town cities. Now, the full list is down below in the descriptions, and I do receive a small affiliate sum for that. So you can take a look at those. Number 5, the Daily Habits Coach. One I particularly like because as you go out on your trips, you want to be sure that you're looking at things the first day. You know how you go into an area that you've never been before and you're kind of scanning everything. Where's all the restaurants? Where's my hotel? Where do I get transport? And it's just a really good habit to look at some of the things that are going on around you. One of the things that was recommended, and ladies, you got to do whether you like it or not, is to charge your phone 100% and text your contact with where you're going to be and potentially when you're coming back. When you go out for the day, you know where you're going, you know your logistics, you know your map, and you know maybe some back roads that if you get caught into something, you know where to get out of, right? And one of the things is the power packs that people carry. Just be sure that it's DSA approved. The other thing is to walk with purpose. So even when you're lost, ladies, you always look like you know where you're going. So you can check your map, but go inside a store, somewhere in a doorway, maybe just stay out of the basic area, like out on the big sidewalk. I know it's basic, but honestly, you just forget when you're out there and you are just open to petty theft for that. So just keep sure that and then dining alone, this has been something that I've learned actually here in the States, but always have your back to the wall or a window. Now, an open window, definitely you would not want to do that. You would want to be making sure you're aside of it. Bag on your lap, preferably. And then eyes on your drink, ladies, which we've learned many, many years ago, but still standard safety process. And then always set your time that you're leaving in the mornings, and then try to go ahead and tell the people when you're going to be back. That's one of the things that I think has come into play a little bit more recently, where people are told where you're going to be back at a certain time, and then they'll be kind of watching for you. And if there's something that goes awry and they don't hear from you, then they can call you or text you. And if you do have an update to that person, go ahead and give that update to them as well. And then the one habit that ties all of these things together is the 60-second debrief before bed. And I think this is really a great thought process, actually. So, where did I feel uncertain today? What would I do differently tomorrow? And I think that I have learned on this as well when I've been out and about. And one of the things is just making sure that you're coming out of your hotel, always looking around to see who is out there, what's going on in your environment. I think that is one of the one things that is nice about having a little debrief with yourself. And then obviously safety is a pattern recognition. You'll know things from day one that you didn't know. And then all of a sudden day two comes along, you know what? I know I need to stay away from there. And then just add that into your routine for the rest of the time. Here's the whole idea around the AI assistance for you is that AI is not your bodyguard and definitely not your only source. You verify what matters. And the real goal is just not to travel afraid. It's really the opposite of that. It's giving you more information for you to watch out for, but you don't have to sit there and be afraid of every single thing. It's really just trying to make sure that you know what you're walking into. The more you know, the better off you'll be, and the less room fear has, right? Now, one other thing that I would like to just recommend, and this is really just for overseas trips, but it's the STEP program that the government has. It's called Smart Travel Enrollment Program. It's free. It registers you with the U.S. Embassy in the country you're visiting. And I put that link in below too. So grab the free Smart Travel Guide with all the 5 prompts in the description below. And then if you want the full checklist, travel smart, travel safe, travel well, it's $27, also in the link below. And then tell me in the comments where you're going next. I read every single one. I'm Joanne. I'll see you in the next video and have a great vacation.